How you doing out there? This is John Wayne Mercure, the Sonneteer from beautiful Chandler, Arizona. And I'm talking to you guys out there, you students, you young people. I'm a retired world history teacher, guidance counselor, academic guidance counselor, okay? Junior high school principal, and I really wanted to help young people. I'm trying to help you. I'm begging you on my knees. Don't get in trouble with the law. The law is everything. And once you get in trouble with the law, you're going to play hell getting out. It's the truth. I mean, you get a record, you can't even get a job. Don't ever get a felony. And that's what this sonnet is about. Sonnet number 968. The yellow passport. It's a death sentence. It really is. The yellow passport, we're talking about a fabulous book. A fabulous book. In that book, Les Miserables, the wretched, it talks about a yellow passport. It starts out in the book, I hope I live to see the day when there's a never ever another yellow passport. And a felony record is a yellow passport. The immortal author Victor Hugo, great writer, in Les Miserables, he wrote, he said, hey, we got to get an end to these yellow passports. It's a total disgrace on France. Felons would have to carry these yellow passport cards with them everywhere at all times. Let me see your papers. Let me see your papers. Or else, soon it was evident with that yellow passport, when people saw it, there's no more employment. There's no jobs for people with felonies or yellow passports. There's no more lodging. They don't want you there. They want you to go somewhere else. They don't want a roof over your head. There's nothing for convicted criminals. Unending torture and punishment for crimes. They're starving to death without work. What are they supposed to do? Felons just end up dying. Pitiless French society in those days, Les Miserables. Felons were forced to commit more crimes. They had no choice. Just like now, they got no choice. A heartless society. A huge segment of the population was suffering in France. Poverty. Well, Jean Valjean, in the book, he was sentenced to 10 years on the galleys of hard labor, breaking his back on the galleys of the French government that treated you like an animal, beat you half to death, worked you half to death, starved you half to death. 10 years? He almost went insane with beatings, tortures, harsh deprivations. Upon his release, when he finally got out, he had nowhere to stay. And I often wonder what happened to his sister and her children. He stole a loaf of bread, and for that they put him in prison for 10 years. And I wonder what happened. His sister and those little kids had no food. They must have starved to death because it never talks about him again. Well, if you're a felon, there's no basic shelter for you either. Gone was his hope. Jean was hopeless. He took refuge with a saintly bishop, Bishop Jean Vanu, his rescuer. A gift of rich silver by this bishop financed a total recovery for Jean Valjean. He's the hero of this book. Now, this silver they're talking about, he was accused of stealing it. Well, he did steal it, and the police caught him, and they were going to send him back to the galleys, and the bishop said, no, I gave that to him. I gave that to him. And you forgot these candlesticks. And he always kept those candlesticks. Why? Because he wasn't going to be able to survive without something to sell of value, and the silver he sold, it was a total recovery for him, because he said, from now on, I'm going to be righteous. He had to change his name to avoid discovery. He's too afraid to report to probation. They put him back in prison. What's he doing with all his silver? Well, the bishop gave it to him. And now he's afraid to show his passport, so he got a new identity. He's so scarred by his felony record, he was terrified of going to court again. Well, it's more than 150 years later, and yellow passports are everywhere. Felons, a felony record. Gory details now are even worse. convicted felons naked and bare with nothing. They're condemned to crime or minimum wage. No decent job prospects. They're damned to a hellish life of desperate poverty and disrespect. Every employment application asks about your criminal convictions. See, employers, they're never going to take a chance on felony employment, because if you hire those people, you're probably going to get fired too. Why'd you hire them? They got a record. A boss hires a person who is not properly vetted and researched. You hire somebody that's got a record, hey, they'll fire you too. The loss of that boss's own job is the penalty for hiring cons. You tell young people, I'm telling you now, to keep a clean record and a spotless resume. And you talk to these young people and they know it all. They know it all. They know everything. They don't care what you say. It's written. The more things change, the more they are the same. Plus ça change, plus c'est la même chose, the French say. The more things change, they're just the same. It's a felony record that you have that is always to be there for poverty, for your doom. The end game is you can't get hired because you got a record. And I'm telling you right now, it used to be, when I was a kid, they would tell young guys, don't get in trouble with the law. They do it anyway. Well, I'm telling you, do yourself a favor. Don't get in trouble with the law. Millions of felons are unemployable. No one dares to take a chance on them. Felons, they're relegated to the shadows, a sad permanent underclass. Yellow passports, felons, it might as well be tattooed on their foreheads. It's a gallows dance. These poor people need a second chance. They need mentors. And there's lots of people out there that could be mentors and give people a second chance. I give people a second chance all the time. Why? Why not? Ernest Hemingway said, there's only one way you can learn to trust somebody, is to trust them. Yeah, you're going to get burned, and I've been burned a few times, but I'll tell you what, people are worth it. They're worth it. And this yellow passport and this felony record, condemning people to never having a decent job, some of these people are really, really smart. They can be taught skills. They can have a mentor really change their life. And I'm asking you, please have mercy on these people. Because in Les Miserables, he prayed, I never see a yellow felon passport again. And it's still with us, and it's worse now. Because you can't live. You can't have a roof over your head or something to eat. You can't have any pride. And some people, the pride is all they have. And I'm asking you to help because, hey, this sonnet here, it's not enough. But at least I try. Give people that have a felony record, get them a mentor, please. The churches can do this, okay? Rotary can do this. Kiwanis can do this. They can help. Thank you for listening. God bless us, everyone. Au revoir, mes amis.